So it seems our friends over at Midnight Works are currently having a bit of a fire sale on their scam titles, with several of them up for grabs on the Canadian eShop for a mere 6 Canadian cents. Pittance, one might think, and you might be considering picking some of them up, but you know how the saying goes, you pay peanuts, you get a giant throbbing bag o' dicks. Or in this case, Tales of Shinobi Fantasy Magic Anime World Fight RPG Simulator. I, however, took yet another bullet so you don't have to, and paid a whopping 89 English pence for this one. So save those Canadian schmeckles or your local equivalent, hit that like button instead, and let me show you exactly what you're getting for your money with this one. Now, as with all of our Midnight Works, VG Games or Insta Marketing and Games reviews, no real structure with this one because I really can't be fucking bothered, but as per usual I'll be delivering an informative overview of the game, and if you enjoy this one, do consider checking out my Scam Games playlists for more on what to avoid from these jokers and their sister companies. Getting into this one though, it's advertised as being a single player adventure game where you get to play as a powerful shinobi who must save the world from evil. And here he is right now, our nameless shinobi looking all powerful and catching fucking flies with his gormless looking open mouth facial expression. Now, we're given a little introduction from this beardy chappie called Ferion who says we're his only salvation, and the Tomato King tells us the neighbourhood is full of monsters, which it clearly isn't. But a portal has been created to get us to the monster stronghold, a giant floating rock shite in the air. Before taking the portal though, I decided to take a look round and instantly noticed something unusual about the game's music, which rather than just playing over the top of things like normal, appeared to emanate from somewhere within the town and also changed tempo, speeding up and slowing down with the camera's movements. The local townstead was also inhabited by a population of spirit people with no collision boxes and also had some spirit rocks, but there was very little else of interest here, and so I decided to venture further afoot, first testing the boundaries of this beautiful anime world which was surrounded by invisible barriers before catching myself some tasty views atop a local rock face. Now heading back down to the ground, I eventually encountered my first monster, a mujik, which I'm led to believe is a male Russian peasant, and though I've never actually personally visited Russia, I'm fairly certain that its countryfolk don't all look like this, though some might argue against that opinion. Regardless though, I decided now was the time to test out my ninja prowess. And our mouth breather does in fact have some tasty moves in his repertoire, executed at the push of the Z trigger. However, there's no way to actually lock onto or target enemies, so you just end up leaping about the place like a fucking blind Naruto until you finally manage to hit something. Not that this actually matters though, as the enemies are complete simpletons who follow you around like zombies and are unable to actually turn around properly, so you can just group them up and then eventually ninja kick the shit out of them. With each monster you kill though, you'll earn a little bit of XP, which in turn levels you up, increasing the damage you deal and, as the eShop description says, unlocking new powerful abilities shown in the bottom left corner, each of which are activated by pushing the relevant D-pad button. These include a wind spell, an ice spell, a golden wave attack which appears to do absolutely nothing, and a heal ability. But that's your lot, and as you'll soon see, they prove to be almost worthless, as from what I can tell they don't increase in power, and despite your fists and feet being equally as worthless, they do a much better job of taking down enemies. Now, after doing a spot more exploring, I encountered another couple of enemies, including level 5 goblins which don't disappear when you kill them, and level 6 golems which you can't actually hit due to them floating above the ground. But one of these actually one-bombed me in the face, instantly killing me and sending me back to the spawn point. Now from here I decided it was time to explore the portal, and upon stepping inside I was taken to the floating castle area and source of all evil in the land. Much like the surface area, this place was a low poly dungeon asset filled with rooms, corridors and bridges, as well as plenty of invisible walls and uncollidable terrain. In short, absolutely fuck all of interest besides the throne room, in which you're tasked with fighting your way through wave after wave of enemies. Now, these generally increase in number and power as you fight your way through them and can completely overwhelm you due to your shite ninjutsu skills, and so far as enemy variety goes, you have goblins and a couple of demon folk to deal with, but very little else. But again, the enemy AI is horrendous, and you can simply stand on the other side of these vines and wipe them out, quickly leveling yourself to 50 where you'll be able to one-shot almost every single one of them. Wanting to be relatively thorough though, I decided to stick it out in this place until I hit wave 31, at which point the king appeared, a kind of lichen-like creature which took a fair few hits to take down, and after that I figured that was it, I'd beaten the king and won the game. But no, wave 32 came and 2 kings appeared and I thought, fuck that, I'm done. Now, after this, I headed back down to the ground and did a little more exploring, but alas, apart from a snowy area, all I found was plenty more nothingness. No new enemies, no points of interest, just a ton of invisible walls and more golems who I still struggle to take down despite me now being level 76. So what if anything have we learned from this experience? Well, being completely honest, very little, apart from the fact that Midnight Works seem to have discovered how to let players play the games in docked mode whilst also using a pro controller, which is a step in the right direction I suppose, and I also suppose the visuals are relatively decent for one of their titles, and the frame rate doesn't shit his pants too much. But yet again, this is an embellished shitefest of a game with little to no substance, and as with all of their titles, it's one that's just best avoided. Once again, the eShop description is bollocks, as are its screenshots, especially the one which shows you running along a wall. But this of course is entirely expected, and as I said, if you want to know more about Midnight Works & Co, go check out that Scam Games playlist. For now though, as always I hope this one helped you out and saved you a few quid, or at least 6 Canadian cents. And if it did, do me the honours of dropping a like, consider subscribing to the channel for more Nintendo Switch reviews and content, and until next time, thanks once again for watching, take care of yourselves, and game on.